Hi, thank you for watching Digging to China. I'm Dong Xiong. In the span of a week, 3 Chinese-American athletes have been thrust into the spotlight at the Beijing Winter Olympics. They were received very differently. All 3 were trained in the United States. Freestyle skier Eileen Gu, figure skater Zhu Yi, and Nathan Chen. Eileen Gu and Zhu Yi chose to compete for China while Nathan Chen opted for Team USA. Gu and Chen both won gold, while Zhu Yi fell on the ice during 2 consecutive showings. The public responses they've received in China also took different turns. After winning her gold medal in the big air competition, Eileen Gu was hailed as a national hero, winning hearts, fame, and fortune. Sina Weibo, the massive social network that is similar to Twitter, found its servers temporarily overloaded. Of the top 10 trending topics on the platform, 5 were dedicated to adoration for the 18-year-old champion. One trending post read like this: "Gu Eileen is a genius young woman, right?" Another one reads, "Dad was Harvard, Mom was Peking University, Stanford, Grandmother was an athlete. She's beautiful and classy." The reception Zhu Yi received was a stark contrast after she crashed into a wall during the team event. Zhu finished last in the short program, and China placed 5th in the competition, which was won by the Russian team, with the US taking silver and Japan bronze. There were messages mocked her for falling, while others criticized her for not being fluent in Chinese. "There is no next time," wrote one Weibo user, under a video of Zhu crying at the end of her performance. "How shameful." That comment was liked more than 45,000 times. Weibo said it had suspended 93 accounts and deleted 300 abusive posts about the Olympian. And Nathan Chen, he was labeled a traitor for insulting China. The 3 young Chinese-American Olympians have found themselves embroiled in deteriorating US-China relations during one of the most divisive, tightly controlled, and politically fraught Olympic Games in history. Their vast, different receptions in China also raised the question of what it takes to be accepted as Chinese when China has grown more confident, yet less politically and culturally tolerant. Eileen Gu has been held up as the pride of China by many Chinese people online, a symbol of a perceived victory over America. For decades, China's brightest and best have flocked to the US to pursue the American dream. And now, an Olympic medal-winning talent, born and trained in America, has chosen to represent China. To some, that's a resounding affirmation of China's rising strength and power. Indeed, Eileen Gu is a remarkable person. At 18, she's already the embodiment of success. She's a world champion skier, skilled piano player, a straight-A student on her way to Stanford, and a fashion model representing brands like Louis Vuitton and Tiffany. She demonstrated her confidence, empathy, and compassion. Many Chinese fans took notice when she knelt on the snowy floor to console a sobbing rival. And despite being born and raised in California, she speaks fluent Mandarin with a hearty Beijing accent, which took many by surprise and endeared her even more to the public. On Weibo, Gu is referred to as Miss Perfect, excelling in everything she does. She is followed by 4 million fans and worshipped as a super idol. Her face was splashed across billboards, commercials, and magazine covers. As an influencer, Gu is admired for her fashion choice and what many Chinese social media users call her biracial beauty. On Xiaohongshu, China's version of Instagram, beauty influencers rush to upload makeup tutorials on how to mimic Gu's biracial looks. But her Olympic victory has led to increased public scrutiny. Gu has proudly embraced her cultural heritage, but she has repeatedly dodged questions about her citizenship while highlighting her dual identity, often saying, "When I'm in China, I'm Chinese. When I'm in the US, I'm American." On February 8th, during the medal ceremony, Gu was spotted on television not singing China's national anthem when the Chinese flag was being raised. It immediately drew criticism, although many quickly came to her defense. Earlier in the day, Gu generated a heated online debate with a reply she reportedly made to a comment on one of her Instagram posts. A user asked, "Why can you use Instagram and millions of Chinese people from mainland cannot? That's not fair. Can you speak up for those millions of Chinese who don't have internet freedom?" Eileen Gu replied, "Anyone can download a VPN. It's literally free on the App Store." Her reply has been deleted. Some lauded Gu for defending China, but others criticized her for not acknowledging her own privilege and understanding little about the reality for the majority of China's 1.4 billion people. As a matter of fact, VPNs, or virtual private networks, have been mostly removed from App Store in China, and authorities have cracked down on users attempting to bypass censorship. Compare Eileen Gu, the public reaction to Zhu Yi tells a much harsher story. Zhu gave up her American citizenship to compete for China and changed her name from Beverly Zhu. But she has been repeatedly criticized for not being Chinese enough. When Zhu first started competing in China in 2018, she was never confident enough to speak Chinese on camera. Her early interviews with state broadcaster CCTV were conducted in English. An anonymous Beijing-based political analyst said, "If one looks Chinese but can't speak a sentence of Chinese, it gives the impression that they have lost touch with their cultural heritage. It means your parents never spoke Chinese with you at home and raised you as an American. And when you turn 16, you suddenly say you are coming to serve the motherland. The patriotic narrative just doesn't hold up." Zhu Yi's recruitment and pickup was also controversial in China. When Zhu was picked to represent China in the Olympics, some accused her of grabbing the spot from her teammate Chen Yi, who had more experience in international competition and enjoyed greater popularity among the Chinese public. Some even suggested that Zhu was favored because of the provenance of her father, a renowned computer scientist specialized in AI, who returned to China from California to join Peking University. The same political analyst said, "Many of the attacks against Zhu were driven by the public distrust in the country's state sports system and its perceived lack of transparency." When Zhu fell flat on the ice and finished last in her Olympic debut on Sunday, February 6, many saw it as vindication that picking Zhu over her rival was unjustified. Some called her a disgrace. Others accused her for being an embarrassment who brought shame on China and told her to go back to America. The hashtag Zhu Yi has fallen gained 200 million views in just a few hours before it was censored. On Monday, Zhu stumbled again during her free skate program, falling twice and breaking down in tears on the ice. Nathan Chen, who won gold for the U.S. in men's figure skating, received harsh response in China as well. Like Zhu, Chen was also accused of acting too white. At a news conference after his victory, he declined to answer a local reporter's question in Chinese, insisting his Mandarin isn't very good. Chen was called a traitor and accused of insulting China due to an interview he gave in October. In that interview, he backed American ice dancer Evan Bates' criticism of China's human rights record. Bates especially decried China's treatment of its largely Muslim Uyghur minority in Xinjiang, which he described as terrible and awful. Another sore point for Chinese nationalists was Chen's choice of music for the 2018 Pyeongchang Winter Games. There, Chen skated to a song from the movie Mao's Last Dancer, a drama of triumph over adversary based on the real-life story of a Chinese dancer who defected to the US in the 1980s. At a news conference on Friday, Chen said the music had been selected by his choreographer. He said, maybe naively, I didn't understand the whole system, the whole story behind it, just that the music was very beautiful. On Weibo, some congratulated Chen and praised his stellar performance on Thursday, but they were overwhelmed by others expressing hate and scorn, with some asking him to get out of China. Chinese state media, meanwhile, mostly ignored Chen's gold medal win, with coverage of the competition focusing instead on Japan's Yuzuru Hanyu, who finished fourth, and who has a huge fan base in China, and the Chinese figure skater Jing Baoyang, who finished ninth. Nathan Chen pays little attention to attempts to undermine his identity. He is proud of his Chinese heritage and points out the importance of Beijing, where his parents first met, to his family's history. He also shrugged off the wave of online criticism. He said, I don't have social media here, so I probably have been very sheltered from that, and I don't plan on looking at social media since sometimes social media can be a little toxic. An excellent choice, Nathan. I wish Zhu Yi could have done the same. She might perform better without heeding to what people said online before and after her competition. Thank you for watching. Please leave a comment and subscribe to my channel. Just click the subscribe button right here. I'll see you again shortly.